At a town hall in Red Deer, Alberta, open mic got pretty wild.
Ottawa continues or has ignored us and will continue to ignore us. It doesn't matter what we do here tonight or what the outcome of this is. They will continue to ignore us. There's one question only, that needs to be on a referendum, and that is, do you support Alberta exiting Canadian Confederation and becoming a sovereign nation? At that point, then you'll be able to negotiate with Ottawa. Then you'll be able to negotiate with Quebec. Without that, they will continue to ignore us. If they do not know that we are serious and we can leave at any point in time, we will not ever get a pipeline to the Atlantic Ocean. It is time to put the separation question on a ballot so that Alberta people can decide.
That was a pretty big round of applause too, might I add. We also have Blanchette once again calling out Mark Carney.
It does not seem likely that their provision for tariffs first, so that there will no longer be the punitive tariffs that we are faced with, but a genuine and normal multi-sector negotiating table, which would eventually lead, as it works, to a trade agreement. We don't have that. And it is very worrying that we are still here today without any clear perspective.
The Liberal government ran on being the ones with a plan to fight against Donald Trump and the tariffs. Said plan has been nowhere to be found, and whatever actions they take against the United States are quickly withdrawn. We have Mark Carney announcing new tariff measures.
We will tighten the tariff rate quota level to 50% of 2024 volumes and apply a 50% tariff on any imports beyond those levels. For steel products from partners with free trade agreements, we will introduce a tariff rate quota level for steel products at 100% of 2024 volumes and apply the same 50% tariffs on imports above those levels. The government is reviewing its remission framework to favor the use of Canadian steel and aluminum in Canadian-made products. And we will also implement additional tariffs on steel imports from all non-U.S. countries containing steel melted and poured in China. Our existing arrangements with our CUSMA partners will remain the same, including no changes to our current trade measures with the United States.
No changes to the current trade measures against the United States, because if he did so, Trump would bury us. Trump has said that if any country hits the United States with retaliatory tariffs, that he will match them on top of the percentage he is already hitting that country with. You notice that right away. He wants nothing to do with the United States because they can't win at all. Negotiations have gone south, they've played their cards, and they have failed to secure a solid deal for Canadians. Now, China, on the other hand, is most likely, if I had to guess, not going to sit there and just take Canadian tariffs. They will most likely hit us back with some sort of tariff as well, or fundamentally change the trade deal between Canada and China. Considering Canada gets a lot of its steel from China, this is going to be a crazy next few months, because realistically, they're still on vacation. They're not doing anything until Parliament resumes. They can have all these negotiations and talks, but we have seen zero boots on the ground action so far. During the same press conference, a reporter confronts Mark Carney on how elbows up was clearly just a charade.
Good morning, Prime Minister Mark Media, Canadian Press. You told Canadians that you would be elbows up, and they appear to have largely given you a mandate to get a good deal from the president. But thus far, we have not seen that Canada has gotten basically nothing. And Canada also had to give one of its bargaining chips when it comes to the digital services tax, something other countries like the UK did not give up in their deal with the US. How do you still convince Canadians that you are really elbows up?
Well, look, we are in the midst of long now and tough negotiations with the United States. And we're working for the best deal for Canada. We have put in place a series of retaliatory measures, including in the steel sector. We have secured tariff-free access for a number of Canadian goods. In fact, the percentages are very high in terms of outside of the most affected sectors, steel being one of them, autos, aluminum, forest products.
Oh, aside from, I don't know, our biggest sectors in the country?
The vast, vast majority of Canadian goods and services are tariff-free. That is not the case for most other countries. We will continue to work constructively for a deal, but it has to be a deal that works for Canadians and Canadian workers. And part of the reason why we don't have a deal is that deal is not yet on the table.
Wow, that was very insightful.
Part of the reason why we don't have a deal is that deal is not yet on the table.
It sounds like Mark Carney spent too much time around Trudeau. A lot of ums and ahs. As a matter of fact, the entire Liberal Party sounds like that. And that is because they are struggling to pull anything up right now to make themselves sound good and seem like everything is okay. Anyway, I'd like to know what you think down in the comments section below. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you are new, and thank you very much for watching.